So the 23-24 season, what did we think about it in the end? It was an eventful season. It was one where the first 10 games, I think all of us thought, oh my God, something's happening there. And we had the whole meme and everyone joking of, could we? And although, yes, it was a joke, there was still an inkling of, could we actually win it? Sadly, obviously, we didn't. And sadly, that drop-off was a lot. And it was a big, big drop-off. And that all came from that one Chelsea game. And it all came from the marginal offside, the Odogi challenge, and then the Romero challenge, which has later been countered in the sense of Romero, if Romero's any other player later on in the season, he wouldn't have been sent off for it. Wouldn't have been a penalty. And yeah, it's an annoying one, because maybe if we had 10 men, we might have won that game. Who knows? Who knows if that Dyer goal, if that was onside, would we have got a draw, and then the whole season would have been different? But it was eventful. It was a hard season, and it was one that's positively can be remembered, and one that we can learn from a lot. So when you're looking at it, those first 10 games, there wasn't a lot of big opponents, so you can't really write too much off it. But then you can look at it as it was Ange's first game, so you can look at it as a pre-season-y sort of thing, building confidence and learning the structure of the play. So really, we wanted to be judging the team after the Christmas break. However, after the Christmas break, we was missing, what is it, Saar, Basuma, Maddison, Van der Ven. I think there was a couple of other players out as well. Then obviously Solomon. And yeah, it was a tricky one for them. But if you compare this season to last season, we finished 8th with 60 points. We had from my lifetime, the best player to do it in the Tottenham shirt, and one of our best players to ever play at Tottenham as well. And that's Harry Kane. Lost him. We had one of the best sporting directors in the world, and one who is doing great progression with us. Patrici, he gone. We had the club captain for the last 10 years or so. He's gone. You had a complete and utter turmoil between the fans and the club, with the whole levy out and all fans complaining. That was the issue as well. And you're looking at it, and if you'd have said at the start of the season, can we just have some sort of identity? If we finish mid-table to 8th, but we have some identity, a lot of fans would have been happy with that. And that was a realistic thing. I don't think a lot of people saw us going into challenging for top 4, getting Europa League. I don't think some people even thought we'd get Conference League. And to have the finish we did, I don't think a lot of us can complain. And the only reason we are complaining and we are annoyed is because we were so good at the start when we had everyone there. And it was kind of, it was our fault for our own downfall, and we put our expectations too high. But I was really happy with the season. Yes, the derbies we need to improve on. Not one win in a London derby is not good, and it is a joke, and I don't think in my lifetime I've ever seen that. Not even when West Ham, really, But Chelsea and Arsenal, Chelsea beating us twice, Arsenal beating us once and drawing once. Not great. And it could have resulted in Chelsea finishing above us, and obviously Arsenal finished above us, and they finished, 13 points above us this season. But if you look at, compared to last season, we've caught up. They finished 24 points above us last season. So we are closing that gap, and 24 and 23, I said 13, did I? 24 and 23 points difference. It's still a gap, isn't it? I got the maths wrong, and I was sounding so optimistic, then I realised yes, we're better. Yes, that is quite annoying. But yeah, I'm happy with Ange. I'm not saying Ange out. I'm really pleased with the progress and everything. I'm hoping we get a massive, well, not massive, but I want 3 or 4 new players in the summer. I want a striker, a winger, a midfielder, and a defender. Defender, just one who can play fullback and also. So I'd quite like a right back / centre back at Tottenham, because we've got Van der Ven who can play centre back and left back. You've got Dragosin who can play both centre backs. So I prefer Romero to stay as a centre back as well. So a right back / centre back who can come in would be a really good signing for us. I think a new 6 would be really good for us. I think a winger, especially left wing, would be really positive for us. And a proper, true striker, just a goal scorer as well, where you could put 100 quid on and you're getting 9 times out of 10 they're scoring goals and you're always getting a back return on that. And how I look at it is, this season, if you was to put a bet on Tottenham and you was given a 10 and you said, right, you've got to put a tenner on for someone to score, your money's not safe with anyone. Son sometimes scored and sometimes didn't really. Cooley, you never knew. Johnson, you never knew. Werner, you never knew. Maddison, you never knew. 9 times out of 10, it was defenders scoring for us. That's what it seemed like, and or just unorthodox sort of players scoring for us. So, and yeah, obviously it's not 9 times out of 10, but you know what? It seemed that defenders popped up a lot for us, not just later in the season, but during start of the season as well. Defenders were there and helping us a lot and just pushing us through games. And yeah, I want a striker. And it was quite a shame we didn't get one with the K money. But we've seen what it's like without one. And I think now it's time, right, let's dip our hands in our pockets and let's get a striker in. But yeah, I think if you was to rate this season out of 10, I'd probably say a 10 being, and not saying a 10's winning the league, I'd say a 10 being a realistic top aim, which a realistic top aim for Tottenham would have been third. And that is if everything came in, even if we continued our form at the start of the season, I think realistically third. Low end, you'd probably say 11th. And you're looking at that, we finished 5th, top end being 3rd, bottom end being 11th. I would go with a 6, or I'd probably say 7 out of 10 with us this season. People moaning about Champions League, and that's not the thing I'm annoyed about this season. The most annoying thing this season has been the trophies. And not saying that we have a right to win trophies, because we don't. With Tottenham, it's not something we're used to. But at least challenging for a trophy, not losing to Fulham. And then also losing to City in the manner we did. And you look at that Fulham game especially, and there was Ange throughout the season saying top 4 isn't a massive thing. We need to bring a winning mentality to the club. And then when we play Fulham, we play a second string side with Forster in goal, Lo Celso starting, Højbjerg starting. And it was just... It just went against everything he was saying before and everything he said after. And it almost seems like, oh yeah, right, we're just going to use that because we're using the same 11 every single game. Right, let's use this to give some people experience. But if you want to win a trophy and you've not got the squad of Man City, you've got to put out a strong 11 and you've got to have most starters in there. We've seen it before with Poch, and Poch is one of the fans' favourites in the last 15, 20 years. And I remember that we played Colchester and we played a lot of starters, but we also mixed that in with some youngsters, and we lost that game. We had Ericsson and Ali, I believe, in that game starting. We still lost the game against Colchester, who was in League 2 at the time. Especially if you're playing against a Premier League side who wants to do well and they know they're not going to really do well in the league, so a cup run is what their aim is, really. You've got to give it, and yes, give some youngsters some game time with you 2-3-0 up, but there's so many variables in football, nothing's promised, so why are you just thinking, right, we can just do it anyway? And I think a lot of fans would have preferred a good cup run and a realistic run at a trophy, and we'd have dropped a couple points or anything, and you're looking at that, and that's why a lot of fans would prefer Europa League like me next season, and it's because we can have a run in it if we take it seriously. And if you are serious with it, then you've got the chance of putting in youth players in the last 20 minutes of games, or games where you know you've already went through to the round of 16. There's that possibility. But Champions League, we haven't got the squad depth. There's probably, if you're looking at the team, Champions League worthy players, 6, 7, which would get into most Champions League sides, and that's the back four. So you're looking at Porro, Romero, Van der Ven, Udogie, Vicario, Son. Who else would you say would get into most Champions League sides? Bentancur on form, but other than that, you're looking at, you got 6 Champions League level players in a squad. And you look at a team like Bayern who've got 13, 14. You look at City who've probably got like 20 odd. Even them like down the road, you're saying overall they've probably got 10. Because you look at their 3 of their back 4. You're looking at Raya on the cusp of it, really. You're looking at Partey. You're looking at Odegaard. You're looking at Martinelli on form. You're looking at Saka. You're looking at Trossard now. Might just have a purple patch season, but especially this season, you're looking at Trossard. There's probably someone else I'm forgetting in there as well, and it's like, we need that squad depth. We need to build this squad and develop this squad, so then we have got more. So we've got 8, 9, 10 players. You look at when we done well in the Champions League, and you're saying, even the season before, we look at White Hart Lane, Tottenham. Back 4 getting in most Champions League sides. Lloris at the time getting in most Champions League sides. Dembele getting in most Champions League sides. Ali, Eriksen getting in Champions League sides. Kane getting in that Champions League sides. Like, we need to develop. Yes, we've got really good players, but we need now that depth in quality where the drop off isn't as much, and we've not got players that on their day are great but on average aren't. We need those consistent players, and that's something I think Tottenham need to look at now this season, is getting consistency with their signings, because Johnson's very good but he's inexperienced. We need someone else, and I love Johnson, but is he going to be the player who's going to win us a Champions League or a Premier League? Currently not yet. Probably 2-3 seasons time, maybe, yes. Werner, no. Richarlison, no. Who else? Hill, no. Solomon, I don't think I've seen him play in about 5 years. Then you're looking at Højbjerg, no. Sarri in a few years, yes. Bentancur, once he's back to form, yes. Basuma, 6 games a season, yes. The other 32, no. Dragerson, no. Maybe a bench player or a 4th choice centre-back, maybe, yes. But you're looking at it, even Forster, no. We need the quality, but overall, I think Tottenham's season's been a really good season, and I think we've found some players which we wasn't expecting. Johnson has been a lot better than I thought he was going to be, and he's shown that with his minutes he's been playing, because he was going to just be a squad player for us. And yes, some of those minutes weren't really by his ability, but Ange could have changed the system and to get him out of the team, but he didn't, because he has proved himself. So I've been really happy with this season. Yes, it's been frustrating, but that's only because we showed so much promise. Let me know what you thought of the season. If you thought it was great, if you thought it was awful, if you're Ange in, Ange out, what players that you want to bring in and what players you want to bring out, and I will see you on the next one. Peace.